Hello friends, we will be covering the following in this video. Faraday's experiment, electromagnetic induction, EMF, Lenz's law, motional electromotive force, EMF across rotating rod, eddy currents uses, inductance, self-inductance, mutual inductance. Starting with Faraday's experiment, electromagnetic induction is the production of EMF. So we are going to produce the EMF. It's the production of EMF across a conductor in changing magnetic field. So magnetic field is changing and which is going to produce an EMF. This phenomena was discovered and understood on the basis of Faraday's experiment, which I'm going to explain in details. First, if you remember, we have previously studied in chapter 3 that moving current, whenever current is moving, it produces magnetic field. Similarly, if we move a magnet, this moving magnet is going to produce a flux and which is current. So moving magnet is going to produce the current similarly. Okay, and this should be readable in the galvanometer if we have attached. So the galvanometer should show a deflection. So magnetic flux through any surface placed in a magnetic field is the total number of magnetic lines of force crossing the surface normally. Faraday's experiment in this he has done 3 experiments. One is induced EMF with a stationary coil and a moving coil. This is a moving coil and this is a stationary coil. The second, induced EMF for carrying current in the neighboring coil. So here what we have done is we have attached this with a switch. So we are going to explain you in a minute. And the third is induced EMF with a stationary coil and a moving bar magnet. So this is a bar magnet, the movement of this magnet producing current in this coil. So here what we are going to do, we'll take a wire and wrap it. When we wrap a wire, we call it a coil. So this coil is further connected to a galvanometer. Galvanometer is a device used to measure if there is current. Here you can notice this particular coil is not attached to any battery. So if this is not attached to any battery, galvanometer will not show any current. But what happens, we have in parallel to this have another coil which is connected to a battery. So when we move this forward or backward, that produces a change in flux, and change in flux, which you can see by these magnetic lines, the change in flux is going to cause current in this particular coil and there will be deflection in the galvanometer. So we have seen deflection in galvanometer of the first coil. Explaining one more time the same thing. As second coil is moved closer to the coil, the magnetic flux linked with the coil increases. The magnetic flux increases and induced EMF and hence an induced current is set up in the coil. In this coil, the current is set up. As the magnet is moved back, this magnet is moved away from the coil, the magnetic flux linked with the coil decreases. An induced EMF and hence induced current is set up in the coil in opposite direction. So the movement, the change in the magnetic flux is causing this. Okay. As soon as the relative motion between the magnet and the coil ceases, the moment we stop it, the magnetic flux linked with the coil stops changing. And so the induced current through the coil becomes zero. So then at that time there will be no deflection. So let's consider a second experiment. In experiment 2, instead of a moving coil, we are not anymore moving this coil to and fro. So what we are doing, we are putting a switch, an on-off switch here. This is an on-off switch to make a variation in the EMF. The change in EMF will produce electricity. This change that we are tapping, the current off, on, is going to produce an EMF in this. Okay. This is the third experiment. Instead of a coil, we have actually taken a bar magnet and the bar magnet is moved to and fro And again we can see there is a deflection in the galvanometer needle. Our learning from the previous experiment of Faraday's, whenever there is change of flux is linked. Whenever there is change, a flux is linked to the coil, then an EMF is induced in the coil. If the circuit is complete, then current in the galvanometer can be seen. Explaining the term electromagnetic induction first. Electro or flow of electron, wherein current is produced with the help of magnet, and term magnetic induction, which means without touching. So therefore, we put it together, we call it electromagnetic current. Current produced by magnet without touching. The induced EMF is equal to a rate of change of magnetic flux of the coil. So mathematically, we can write a rate of change as flux divided by time. So whenever we will say rate of change, that means dividing by time. Flux is denoted by this symbol pi. In a uniform magnetic field, B passes through a plane, say area A, and makes an angle theta. So we can write, we know this formula for flux. Flux is equal to magnetic field into area. So if we replace this formula, which is B dot A, instead of writing here, we can write BA cos theta. So what is cos theta here? At the angle it has been kept. And in case we don't know the area, so instead of writing A, we can write dot ds. The SI unit of magnetic flux is Weber. WB. Okay. 1 Weber is the flux produced when a uniform magnetic field of 1 Tesla acts normally over an area of 1 meter square. So 1 Weber equals to 1 Tesla into meter square. So it will become WB by m square. Okay. Dimension of flux is this. There are two types of laws which govern the phenomena of electromagnetic induction. One is the Faraday's law. Faraday's law gives us the magnitude of induced EMF, that is the quantity, how much. Lenz's law gives us the direction, in which direction will the induced EMF be formed. So this law states that direction of induced current is such that it opposes the cause which produces it. So it opposes the change in magnetic flux. So if you see here, if we bring down like this, so it will be clockwise, and you can see this end will become south pole. So this will become like this. If we bring to and fro this magnet here near the coil, so the current will be in this direction. So this rule gives the polarity of any phase of the circular current loop. If the current around any phase of the coil is in anti-clockwise direction, it behaves like a north pole. If the current flows in the clockwise direction, it behaves like a south pole. Here EMF is equal to d pi by dt, and here N is the tightly number of the wire, how it has been wound, the turns, okay, the number of the turns, and this is the change. How we write d flux, d pi can be written as flux 2 minus flux 1. So by this, so this is a change in flux. So let's look here. This is motional electromotive force. Induced EMF by change of area. So what happens is, the formula for flux that we have just noted is B into A. See here it is B into flux is equal to B into A. This is the formula for flux, right? So if we change the area, the magnetic field is the same and we are changing the area. So if we change the area, the flux will change. If the flux is changing, the current will be produced, right? So in that we are doing this experiment. The EMF here is induced across the end of a conductor. So what we have done, we have taken a U-shaped conductor rail here and a conductor with a length L. This PQ is a conductor with a length L, which is going to slide over. When it slides over, coming in this direction or the opposite direction, going outward, then the area will change. What is the formula of area? Length into the breadth. So if the length changes, automatically the area will change. If the area will change, the flux will change. So let me first show you on a animation what exactly I'm trying to explain here. Suppose this is the magnetic field. This X is showing you that there is a magnetic field. Okay. Now in this magnetic field, this is a conductor that we have created, a U-shaped conductor on which we have this as a rail, which is a sliding rail. So this is the present area. Magnetic field into the area will be the flux. Now if I change the area, so flux will change. Okay, so let's run this. This is how it's changing its area. Now what's the new area? The new area is x plus dx, right? So we can say B into x plus dx, and this is the L, which is this part. So B, magnetic field, which you can see by these x lines, plus into x plus dx. Why x plus dx? This area has been increased. This was the original length, length of the conductor. Now we have moved it further, so it has become into plus dx, x plus dx into L. Now we know flux by dt. If we make it by dividing both the sides, left side and the right side by dt, flux by dt, B into dx by dt. This is a change, dx by dt into L. What is this L? L is this length. Okay. So we get, where is this L coming from? This L is coming because the area is written as breadth into length, right? So this is the breadth here, the width here. So L. So this dx by dt can also be written as velocity. Why? Because speed is equal to distance by time. So V is equal to dx by dt. Therefore, it can be written as EMF is equal to d pi by dt equals to minus BVL. So V here is velocity. And why is it minus? The minus show resistance to the change in flux. Also, please note the sign, the direction of here, the current flow, it's positive to negative in the outer. Okay, in the inward, it will be from negative to positive. In this conductor, it will be negative to positive, and from this end, it will be positive to negative. Let me play this one more time for you. So this is how it is. If it's increasing, that will be the flow of the current. Okay. Going back, if we have not missed, so we get minus BVL. This is, so outside charge movement, positive to negative, inside charge movement, negative to positive. And this EMF is formed due to motion. Hence, it is called motional EMF. So, EMF across a rotating rod. So, here we have tied, this is a rod, suppose this is a rod. Okay. Now, we have tied one end of the rod at O and we are making it move like this. It's tied here at one end. So, if it is tied here, we know BVL, so equals to, V will be equal to V plus U by T. Here the initial speed U is 0 because it's tied here, right? So, U equals to 0. So, it will become BL V by 2. So, EMF will be equal to half BL V, because it is rotational motion, V can be written as L into omega. So we can write half BL L omega. L can multiply, it can become half BL square omega. If V is given, okay, then we can also write omega is equal to 2 pi V, and we can write, instead of omega here, instead of omega we can write 2 pi omega. So BL square 2 pi omega can be written, and if we don't want to write the frequency V here, it can be written as pi by t, because frequency is equal to 1 by t. So we can write, this can become the formula in terms of time period. So you can note down 1, 2, 3 formulas from here. Mainly this is the formula that you have to learn, half BLV. Very interesting and very important topic, that is eddy currents. Okay, because why it's important I'm saying is because the application is tremendous these days in magnetic brakes in trains, electromagnetic damping, induction furnace, electric power meter, and I have also captured a video for you which will be very interesting for you to see, because it's something very new happening. Earlier we used to see the brakes in the cycle like a rubber attached and you just squeeze it. So it's not those brakes these days. These are like very fast trains, the bullet trains. How do they stop? By the eddy currents. So this is very interesting. Now let me just show you. This is actually a whirlpool. Why this name is coming eddy? The eddy actually means a whirlpool. It's like a whirlpool of water. So these current look like eddy. Hence we call them eddy currents. This is how it looks like. So let me show you a video first, and then I will take you down to the experiment of the same pendulum having in form of a copper. Just a second. Let me go down first. Okay, let's view this first. Why it's important and how it. Okay, this is an experiment done by MIT physics lecture. I really liked it. They have taken the two solenoids here and a solid copper pendulum, which we'll just take out and show. This is the current, the DC power current. We're taking this out just to show you. This is how the copper plate is. This is a moving pendulum. The moment there is current here, this stops. It acts like a brake. Let's understand the theoretical concept over here. Take a pendulum having the form of a copper plate. So that you saw that was a copper plate. It is free to oscillate. It was moving like a pendulum between the magnetic poles of the electromagnet. So those, the two solenoids were the electromagnets. In the absence of any magnetic field, the pendulum swings freely. As the electromagnet is switched on, the oscillation of the pendulum gets highly damped and soon it comes to rest. It stops. Here, eddy current is developed and it opposes the motion of the copper plate in the magnetic field. Direction of eddy current are opposite when the plate swings into the region, when the poles, and when it swings out of the region. Eddy current produces heat. We can reduce eddy currents by cutting slots in the copper plates or by laminating it. If you see carefully, we have cut these slots. So this is going to reduce eddy currents heat. The eddy current produces heat. It can be reduced by cutting these copper plates in this form. Now we will study self-inductance, and in the coming up slide then we will study the mutual inductance as well. Now what happens when a current flows in a coil? It gives rise to a magnetic flux through the coil itself. If we change the voltage, electric field or magnetic field, the linked magnetic flux changes and an opposing EMF is induced in the coil. This EMF is self-induced. What happens? In this figure, we have taken a battery and a tapping switch connected in the series. When circuit is complete, the EMF is induced in the opposite direction. So from here, when the current is flowing and we are tapping it. So when the current is flowing, an induced EMF is produced in the opposite direction of the current. Okay. Then we break the circuit. If we now break this circuit, so what happens? This is an example. The current is decreased. Immediately we have switched off the battery, the current will start decreasing. When the current is decreasing, the EMF produced is in the same direction. Original direction, the current was in this direction. So EMF will also be moving in that direction of the battery. So in other words, when current is rising, this EMF which is being produced is opposing. The EMF is produced, but when current is decreasing, when current is about to go, so the EMF is moved in the other directions, kind of saying don't go. So when initially the current is coming, EMF, let me try to explain it one more time. When the current is flowing from in this circuit here, okay, so what happens when the current starts flowing, immediately a EMF is induced which is opposing this current. It is opposing and trying to stop this current to enter this circuit. The moment current we switch off the battery, the current is dropping down, the current is decreasing. The moment current is decreasing, then EMF will be in the opposite direction, where it is actually trying to fill up that gap and trying to say, kind of, please don't go. So it's trying to run in this direction. So in the directions you can see, this is induction, phenomena of production of induced EMF in a coil when a changing current passes through it. Now, coefficient of self-inductance. At any instant, the magnetic flux linked with a coil is proportional to current through it. So what does it mean? That flux is directly proportional to the current. Okay. If we have to equate it, we can say flux equals to Li. L is a constant for the given coil. L is called the coefficient of self-inductance. If we want, we can bring the L on one side and we can rewrite this formula as L is equal to pi by I. Okay. L is a constant for the given coil. L is also called a coefficient of self-inductance. We know EMF, that is pi by dt. Flux by dt is equal to, we are dividing both numerator and both left side and right side by dt. So we will get Li by dt here, and further thus the self-inductance of a coil is numerically equal to magnetic flux linked with a coil when 1 unit current flows through it. Unit of self-inductance is 1 Henry, and L is equal to, if we bring the L on one side, this flux EMF by di by dt, and we can write it as 1 V by As minus 1, which is 1 Henry, and the dimension for this will be ml square T minus 2 A minus 2. Also, EMF is equal to, we know flux by dt equals to NBA. What was the flux? BA. What is N? N is the number of the turns, number of the coils. B can also be written as mu Ni. So putting the value of B equals to mu Ni here, we can write N is equal to mu Nia by dt. Here N is equal to NL. N is the complete length of the solenoid, and N is the number of turns. So the capital N is the total number of turns of the solenoid, which will be then equal to N equals to N by L. So if we want, we can replace in this formula N with a small n. So we can write the number of turns, the small n, multiply with the total length. That will be equal to, here we can write down, so this will become N square Li. So if we are considering the number of coils, then L will be proportional to the, L is what? L is the self-inductance, is proportional to the length. And in case we are taking the N as a capital N, then we can say the inductance is inversely proportional to the length. If we look at the self-inductance graph, this is the graph where we have induced EMF and the time, we find at the beginning EMF is very high. The moment current starts, EMF generated is very high, then slowly it will stop increasing at high speed. So slowly it will keep down. So there is sometimes one question comes that whenever we have a switch and we turn it off, sometimes you can see from the old generation switch, there is a sparkling. Why is that sparkling in between? The sparkling is a phenomena associated with self-inductance. What happens in this is the break of a circuit is very sudden. When the circuit is switched off, like we are switching off, okay, a large self-induced EMF is set up in the circuit in the same direction as the original EMF. So EF positive to negative. So potential difference across the plates, across these two plates is formed, and air particles in between gets ionized. All the particles in between gets ionized and apply a force Q into E, and this causes a big spark around the switch. We're coming on to mutual inductance. So unit of self-inductance and mutual inductance is Henry. If there is a coil and we are changing the current by 1 ampere per second, it gives an induced EMF of 1 volt. Then inductance is 1 Henry. Okay. Here we consider two coils. So presently red coil and the black coil. In this example, it has been wrapped inside. There are many layouts that we are going to read how we can put the two different the coils. In one coil, it will be connected only to a galvanometer. The other coil will be the second coil will be connected to the battery and a tapping system. So when we are going to tap and change the current, so EMF here on the other coil will be formed. So we're going to explain further. So what will be the effect of one on the other? So mutual inductance is a phenomena of production of induced EMF in one coil due to change of current in the neighboring coil. At an instance, magnetic flux linked with the secondary coil and current in the primary coil. So let me just show you here before we start. So here, suppose this is a coil in which we have a battery attached, okay, and maybe a tapping key also attached here, and in this, if there's only a galvanometer. The moment we are changing the current here, so what happens, this is going to produce an current in the second coil and it can be read in the galvanometer. So the effect on the second by the first is called mutual inductance. In self-inductance, it was the same coil, effect on the same coil. Here, the effect from the first on the second coil. Okay. The proportionality of constant M is called the mutual inductance or coefficient of mutual inductance. So here we know flux 2 is proportional to the current that is going to flow in coil 1, and this is M is the proportionality constant. Thus the mutual inductance of two coil is numerically equal to the magnetic flux linked with one coil when a unit current passes through the other coil. Okay. So we derive the formula here, flux is equal to Mi. Okay. Dividing left side and right side both by dt, we can write equals to minus, because it's in the opposite direction of the EMF, so minus M di by dt, because it's opposing. Okay. Then here flux we also know is equal to NBA, and N is what? The number of turns in a coil, B is the magnetic field, A is the area. So we can write this as N2 mu Ni A. Okay. Here, so putting this value, M is equal to flux by I. Where are we getting this from? We know flux is equal to Mi. Okay, so bringing flux is equal to Mi, we can bring M on one side and we can write M is equal to flux by I, putting the value of flux as this. Flux is what? B into A. So B can be written as mu Ni, and here N is the number of the turns of the coil into A. A is what? This area. So we can write the value of flux here divided by I, and N, we know the capital N is equal to the number of turns into the length. So this is the total length of the solenoid. Okay. So here we can rewrite this formula. Instead of replacing one n and one small n, making it, we can write all in small n's, which is the number of the turns. So this will become the formula. And in case it's for the complete length, then we can rewrite the formula using n is equal to nl this. So if n1, n2 are kept constant, then m is proportional to l. Here m is proportional to l. If we are going to take n1 and n2 keeping them as constant, m will be inversely proportional to 1 by length. So sometimes it is asked why it is inversely, whether it is the mutual conductance is inversely to the length, or it is directly proportional to the length. So it depends on what we are going to take, the number of the turns or the total length. Okay. Relative orientation of the coils that we have already seen here. These are the relative orientations. M is maximum when the primary coil is completely enveloped in the secondary coil. What does it mean? Here, this is completely enveloped. So the M will be maximum here. Mutual inductance will be maximum here. M will be minimum when the two coils are perpendicular. So one coil and the other. Okay. Any charge, mostly we are going to do the explanation in this form, where we can see the effect from one or the other. Any charge in current I sets up an induced EMF in the secondary coil, which is given by this. Okay, so we have studied this part all together, and here again the unit for this 1 Weber is 1 Tesla into meter. Motional EMF is minus BVL, and these are all the formulas that I'm repeating for you. EMF across rotating rod is EMF is equal to half BLV that we have studied for self-inductance and for the mutual inductance. So these all are the formulas that you have to remember. Thank you.